One time when I was at school I got my period and I didn't have a pad or tampon, so I started freaking out. I was thinking of a plan, so I was going to ask the teacher to go bathroom so I could get a bunch of tissues and make my own pad. I raised my hand and asked if I could excuse myself and he said yes. When I stood up a massive blood clot fell out of my kahazachuakalabazochi makalabazochi right onto the floor. You could hear the thud and blood splattered on the shoes of both people who sat next to me. No one sat next to me after that. I seriously don't know how I recovered from it. When I was in 10th grade we had a lockdown and took our usual precautions. We had a sub that day and it was her first day too. She told everyone to sit under the desks and to be quiet and complete our worksheet. While we were working we heard loud screaming from a man and he was laughing in between the screams. We heard lots of banging, so we assumed it was gunshots, so we all started crying. He got to our classroom and started banging on the door and he shot 2 bullets through the door. We didn't have curtains, so he stood on a rock and looked right through the window. He had long greasy hair and yellow teeth and his eyes were wider than Cardi B's coochie. He had the biggest smile and then waved at all of us. He then started shooting and our sub-teacher picked up a piece of broken glass and slashed his face with it. He started screaming in pain and ran away. He later got arrested. Our sub-teacher was rewarded as a hero. When I was 7 years old, my family lived in a really trailer. Our landlord was a creep and never did anything he was supposed to. One day my friend and I were behind our shed in the backyard playing. Behind the shed there was some boards that had nails sticking out of it. My mom tried telling the landlord that they needed to be removed because someone was gonna get hurt. Yeah, this dude never showed up to get them. Anyways, while we were playing house, we decided to go behind the shed so no one could see us. I decided to wear Crocs that day, as 7-year-olds did at the time. I remember taking one last step forward, before hearing a crunching sound. I looked down and I saw the top of a rusty nail sticking through my shoe. My dumb ass didn't even react. I just stood there, until my friend screamed for my mom. My mom rushed outside, and I pulled my foot up, and there was a huge hole in my foot. I bled the entire way back into the trailer, and instead of taking me to the doctor, my mom slapped a band-aid on my foot and called it a day. One day I decided to come to school with my BTS hoodie, so I did, and then at school I was minding my business when this named Allison came up to me and said, "Oh my god, why do you like those Chinese boys when they look like girls and they can't sing?" I said, "First of all they are Korean, and second of all you can't be talking with your bubble gum dum dum butthole smelling ugly willy wonka wrong fart nationwide not on your side ugly cockroach small fishy rat face no brain big head cancer fat ass pig." Then she started to boss up and I dragged the out of her. I started punching her face and pulling her hair, and then soon enough I saw blood. Then she stopped moving and the teachers came and I got suspended. And Allison ended up getting a concussion from me banging her head against the floor. I still don't regret doing that, because if you ever talk about my boys I will you up. One time when I was doing my work, the teacher announced to the class that there would be a new girl named Serafina Valentina. She walked in the class and everyone immediately noticed that she was wearing all pink and was carrying 56 stuffed animals. Her shirt was all pink and it said "I love my mama." Her pants are pink with purple stripes. Her shoes were twinkle toes that would light up when she walked. Her backpack was Jojo Siwa. She had a unicorn pencil box and she of course was wearing a Jojo Siwa bow in her hair. She looked like the bath bomb we would buy at Claire's. Everyone started yelling and Serafina Valentine noticed, so she asked us what we were laughing at. Oh my god, when she opened her mouth her breath smelled like old canned dog food. Her teeth also looked like avalanches. We said we weren't laughing at anything, but when we saw her teeth we laughed even more. She grabbed her pink Care Bear stuffed animal out of her backpack and threw it at us. She kept grabbing stuffed animals and throwing them. The teacher tried to get her to stop, but Serafina Valentina knocked her unconscious. Her stuffed animal collection never ended. I pointed my ass at her and pushed. The diarrhea force was so strong it broke a hole in my pants. My splattered on her and then the other teachers came into the room. Serafina Valentina was expelled and I went to the doctor and was diagnosed with extreme bowel cancer. One time I was sitting in my room doing a "Which Twilight character are you" quiz, when my mom called me to her room. I walked in and she showed me her iPad and it was a picture of Cardi B's fat eruptious ass, with the caption "WAP." She said, "What does WAP mean?" She's been seeing it all over Twitter and it's driving her insane. I froze and said, "It means wear a mask." She said that idea is extraordinary and she started frantically slapping her keyboard with her sausage fingers typing something. I thought, oh no, she's gonna say something because she's a bitch without shame. Later that day she told me to look at her new tweet. I was like, oh god, what did you do, you embarrassing old bitch? I'm gonna put you in a retirement home, you useless sack of dog knobs. And that's when I saw it. Her tweet said, "WAP WAP WAP OMG, please, we are in a pandemic, save yourselves," and "WAP WAP 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 OMG, we are dying because of people who don't WAP. Too many people don't WAP and it's causing death, so WAP 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 WAP."
Hi everyone, I just wanted to say a big thanks to everyone who's subscribed and to everyone who hasn't. Please do subscribe, because I'm trying to reach my goal of 1,000. So, yeah, just subscribe, like the video, share my channel to your friends, and let's get back to the video.
One day in the 3rd grade my class went on a field trip to the zoo. This one girl named Ariel Tangagnol was jumping up and down so excited because she wanted to be a mermaid. She had to wear diapers because she couldn't stop laying shit eggs everywhere. The day before the class was being bad, so the teacher picked our bus partners instead of us, and guess the what? I got paired with Ariel Tangagnol. The next day on the bus I was sitting next to Ariel and she was singing "Let It Go" like, "Do you want to be a mermaid or Elsa?" like pick one. When we got there Ariel Tangagnol kept telling the tour guide to shut the and she lectured us about every fish. She called the fish by Dory and Nemo. She told us to follow her but we didn't and we followed the tour guide. She must be really strong because she punched through the class and started swimming. She brought her mermaid tail that she bought from Five and Below and started swimming. She then forgot her diapers and took a fat in the aquarium. She took the biggest boggy goggy, took in a doggy, clean it with a moppy. Smells like smells like D-lick. She is a It attracts ticks. It will stick. The wouldn't stop coming out and the force of the made the glass crack. All the fish were floating up to the top of the brown water. I was able to smell the from across the room and it smelled like a lakazalaka hoochula poochula. Turns out Ariel had bowel cancer. Story time about something that happened to me in kindergarten. So we was at recess and I was playing with my friends and this girl named Haley was chasing me because I made fun of her nickname which was Bling Bling the Wing Chaying. So when she was chasing me around and I climbed up this ladder and she climbed up right after me and I kicked her in the face and she fell to the floor with a bloody nose and the teacher called us over and talked to us and she had to sit on the side for recess and I didn't. So when I was in the bathroom she sent one of her friends to mess with me and she climbed on the stall and watched me poop. So I took my and threw it in her face and it got in her mouth and I didn't get in trouble and she smelled like that's what her bubba wubba funna hubba fubba jubba gubba cubba yubba nubba zumba rubba litty witty kitty mitty nitty yitty jitty pitty quitty ritty. I once decided to get a gym membership so I can be skinny and beautiful when summer comes. I weighed 200 pounds so I was pretty chunky. I started losing some weight and was quickly starting to realize that it was over for you and I can finally wear a bikini. When all of a sudden coronavirus hit and shut down the gym and I was forced to be home and become fat again. I now weigh more than what I started with and I'm now 250 pounds. You coronavirus, you ugly infectious. I hope you get butt by a blazing fishing pole, you dirty germ bacteria. Coronavirus is literally a with 28 million cases. Like, are you that horny? You've been around all over the world, you stupid. Like, relax, you made your point, you can stop now, you miserable scum-faced bad guy. Bet coronavirus's looks like corned beef, it's been used that much. When I was 16, my guy BSF, who we can call Kyle, was sleeping over at my house while my parents were away for their anniversary. At the time, we were all in a friend group with another girl who we can call Jessica, grinning face with starry eyes, sweaty red face with tongue out, and another guy who we can call Fred, distressed face vomiting, smirking cat face. So we were just chilling watching Harry Potter movies, and I fell asleep. All of a sudden I'm being forced awake and I'm on my bed and Kyle's staring at me, cross-eyed grinning face with stuck-out tongue, smirking cat face. I get excited but kind of uneasy cause Kyle was in relationship with Jessica, and you did not wanna cross that. Then Kyle started confessing his feelings. It was incredibly adorable and then he asked if he could kiss me and I was like hell yes. After a minute of making out, it got messier, smiling face with horns, face blowing a kiss. One time I was at my grandma's because she was helping me with the school bake sale. She was asking me if I had any ideas on what to make and I thought it would be funny to prank her. I said make WAP, and she said what? I said it stands for warm apple pies, and her hardened in joy. She began whipping up a batch of apple pies like her life depended on it, and I went and sat in my room. I came back out an hour later and saw she had a whole tray of apple pies and she wrote WAP all over them, and she made WAP banners. I told her it was just a joke and it's not what she thinks it means, and she slapped me across the face and told me not to get involved. She set up her spot at my school's bake sale and started screaming, "Come eat my WAP, kids. Please come here and try my delicious warm WAP. WAP 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 WAP." Everyone started laughing at her, but at the end of the day she racked up the most sales out of all the soccer moms there. She later spray painted WAP on her old creepy van and she now drives around the neighborhood screaming, "Come up to my van and try my WAP," to innocent children playing in their front yards. When I was little, everyone in school would always bring in their favorite toy to play with during golden time. All of the people in my class would fight over who had the best toy in the room. One day I decided to bring in my Peppa Pig stuffed animal. It had a little speaker inside and would play the awesome theme tune when I got to school that day, and it got to golden time. I got my Peppa toy out and everyone in the class was so very jealous that they were physically bowing to me asking me to play with it. This girl called Yucky Yasmin Throw-Upsin had her Paw Patrol toy and no one wanted to even look at it. It kinda looked like one of those messed up SpongeBob popsicles but dog version. Its eyes were on its stomach and it was basically a demented cow. She was so mad that she grabbed my Peppa toy and ripped out the speaker. I was so angry that I pulled the biggest scream that almost ripped the teacher's ears off her head. It sounded like a foghorn. Heads were torn, Scooby snacks, broken backs, Pepsi can, strange man, blown away by a fan, bath bomb, stinky mom, shit perfume, zoomed around the room, fat chunky monkey, smells like funky, dead plants, pants in your ants, frozen peas, wobbly knees. I grabbed Yucky Yasmin's Paw Patrol toy and put it right into the teacher's paper shredder because that's where it belonged. When it came out of the shredder it didn't even look any different to when it went into the shredder. So I decided to take it and dunk it into the PVA glue. Yucky Yasmin started to cry and ran out of the school. I went home and happily got my Peppa toy fixed. But Yasmin in the end found out that she had no more Paw Patrol toy. Hehe.